You're watching NewsView. And now, from Champaign, Urbana, Illinois, it's NewsView.
Hello, I'm Michael Badger, and this is NewsView. In Champaign, people are preparing for the Illinois Marathon on this Saturday, and this is April 26th, 2013. According to WCIA TV Channel 3 in Champaign, city workers have been preparing roads for the Christie Clinic Illinois Marathon, and they've been making sure runners don't get tripped up by potholes. And they say also if one runner trips, it could cause a domino effect, especially on some parts of the route when races are packed in tightly. Racers. I think they mean racers. That's why public works officials have been talking with race organizers to make sure the route stays safe. Leaders say they've been filling in gaps all week. Crews say it's important to make sure the roads are safe, but the marathon gives them an extra reason to smooth things over. Crews are using 3 different treatments to make sure the holes are fixed, and they plan to be on the lookout during the next few days to make sure they stay that way. And they say to report potholes in Champaign along the route, you can go to cclickfix/Champaign. That's the address, and you can report potholes there online. And the city of Decatur, according to WICD TV Channel 15 in Champaign, is dumping excess water into the river. They say a large amount of water is flowing over the dam on Lake Decatur, and that's a sight that hasn't been seen very much in the last couple of years, and that's a good indication of how much local bodies of water have risen thanks to the spring rains. And, quote, currently we've had quite a bit of rain in the Lake Decatur watershed, unquote, said Keith Alexander, Decatur Director of Water Management. He went on to say, quote, in fact, we have more water running into the lake today than we have since June of 2011, so we're very pleased to see what Mother Nature has delivered for us, unquote. All that water could produce issues downstream. Quote, the water that we're allowing to pass through the dam is normal for a typical springtime, unquote, Alexander said. He also said, quote, but because our citizens downstream of the Lake Decatur Dam along the Sangamon River haven't seen this kind of water level in almost 2 years, we thought it was appropriate to let them know that the water is coming over the next several days, unquote. He doesn't expect flooding issues, but bodies of water across the area are already swelling from the rain, from the Sangamon River to the Clinton Lake, which could tempt some folks to enjoy the high waters. Quote, the Sangamon up by Monticello is out its banks, end quote, said, and Conservation Police Officer Ray Witches said, quote, some people probably see it as a real attractive canoeing and kayaking, but you gotta be real careful. If you're gonna go, wear your life jacket. That's first and foremost. You gotta remember that the water is also cold, so if you do canoe and kayak and you get into the water, hypothermia could be an issue also, he said. High water can also change the appearance of the terrain. quote, some things that we may be exposed when the water is a little lower, things that may be exposed when the water is a little lower are hidden now, Winch said. So you may hit stumps that you didn't know are there. You may find brush piles and get stuck on those, which could be a real problem, unquote. Alexander recommends being very careful, even out on lakes such as Lake Decatur. He said that the higher water levels can pick up things like surplus lumber that has been laying next to docks or tree branches. That stuff can be very hard to see when you're out on the water. Farmers are also keeping an eye on water levels, hoping that the planting season won't be delayed by flooding. And they spoke with Sangamon County Farm Bureau President Alan Entwistle, and he said that the Sangamon River is 1 foot below the top of the levels at a farm just south of Mechanicsburg in Illinois. And Ohio University office building has been evacuated. The Ohio University Police Department evacuated a business on Union Street Thursday morning after an employee opened an envelope containing a white powdery substance. And that's according to WOUB at WOUB.org. That's in Athens, Ohio. According to a press release, an OU employee opened the letter at 11:18 a.m., and OUPD evacuated the legal affairs and People's Bank sections of West Union Street Office Center and, quote, took other steps to isolate the potentially affected area, unquote. Police said they do not believe other areas of the building are affected at this time and that it was an isolated incident. Both Legal Affairs Office and People's Bank did not respond to phone calls at 1:35 p.m. Thursday. An investigation is underway. And we'll be right back with more News View, with more news and weather right here on News View after this.
Trees are terrific!
Who perches on the branches, lives among the leaves. Friendly Carly Cardinal, talking about trees.
Sometimes people take for granted about the best things ever planted, but they should be enchanted, should appreciate their trees.
Could you have a forest glade, build the treehouse where you played? Could you make your lemonade if you didn't have the trees? You need a tree to climb, that's where squirrels spend their time.
Oh, it's practically a climb when someone damages a tree.
When you think about a tree, it's as plain as it can be.
To some it's just a tree, but it's a home to me.
Trees, trees, Carly's Arbor Day Foundation spreads the word across the nation about trees.
Trees are terrific!
And welcome back to News View. I'm Michael Badger. And according to Variety at Variety.com, Time Warner Cable is reporting a 5% rise in profits despite subscriber losses. That according to Rachel Abrams, financial news editor at Variety. Time Warner Cable shares are down a little more than 1% in afternoon trading as the conglomerate's Q1 earnings were a bit of a mixed bag. On the one hand, the company lost about 119,000 video subscribers from the prior quarter, although profits rose 5%, driven largely by business services revenue growth of 25%. In an analyst call on Thursday, Time Warner Cable executives emphasized the steps that the company has taken to retain customers, streamline business operations, and aggressively return cash to investors. In the past 2.5 years, the conglomerate has devoted 110% of free cash flow to shareholders. Time Warner Cable reported a profit of $401 million, or $1.34 a share, up from $382 million, or $1.20 a share a year before. That slightly missed analyst expectations of $1.37 per share, although excluding certain one-time costs, earnings hit $1.41 a share. Revenue rose to 6.6%, driven largely by business services. Advertising rose 8%. Time Warner Cable executives attributed some of its subscriber losses to, quote, discount seekers who were more likely to churn quickly, unquote. The company has since implemented 4 separate, quote-unquote, retention centers to help keep customers without relying on heavily discounted packages. Company added 131,000 broadband subscribers, but lost 35,000 voice subscribers. And in other news, according to CNN at money.cnn.com, and they say the new owners of Hostess are starting up production again, but there's no mention of labor unions. The maker of Twinkies and Ding Dogs was involved in a crippling labor dispute last year, ultimately leading to the company shutting down and selling its assets. Roughly 15,000 of 18,500 employees lost their jobs. A joint venture of private equity firms Apollo Global Management and Metropolos and Company bought 5 bakeries and the majority of Hostess brand snacks for $410 million. The reformulated Hostess Brands LLC has said it expected the products to be back on shelves this summer. A Dolly Madison plant in Columbus, Georgia will be the first to reopen, and it's been a community staple since 1971 and employed about 400 people, according to Mayor Tressa Tomlinson. All the employees lost their jobs when Hostess was liquidated. Columbus City officials actively courted the company's new owners in an attempt to bring them back, said Tomlinson. In its new iteration, the company will hire 200 workers for jobs starting this summer. Another 100 jobs will follow. Tomlinson said her town is better off with the opportunities, whether they are union or not. Quote, I think we're very happy to have the jobs back. 300 jobs is better than 0 jobs, unquote, she said. But former plant employees will have to reapply for the jobs they once held. The private equity firms did not return calls for comment. Neither did the bakery, confectionery, tobacco, and grain millers international union, one of the two unions involved in last year's talks. The International Brotherhood of Teamsters declined comment, and the Twinkies plant in Emporia, Kansas, which used to employ 500 people, is another bakery that the private equity venture purchased and could bring back online soon. Several other companies purchased Hostess brands. Flower Foods paid $360 million to acquire 20 bakeries. Wonder Bread and most other Hostess bread brands. Privately held McKee Foods Group Corp paid $27.5 million for equipment and Hostess drink products, which include Ring Dings, Yodels, and Devil Dogs, Yankee Doodles, and its coffee cake. And also, police are looking for graffiti vandals in Springfield. They're investigating 6 acts of criminal damage, according to WCIA TV3 in Champaign, and say it happened in the neighborhood of 6th and Bryan Noir between 9 p.m. April 19th and 10 a.m. April 20th. Vandals caused extensive damage to 5 cars in a garage by spray painting them with graffiti, including a swastika. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous and may earn a cash reward. Call with any tips about this crime to 217-788-8427 or go to cash4tips.us or text tip 672 plus INFO to 274637 or crimes. And also in other we'll have weather after this bulletin from the Champaign County Crime Stoppers. On Saturday, April 20th at approximately 5 a.m., 2 subjects arrived at the Urbana Walmart in a light-covered minivan. They went to the electronics section of the store and cut the cables that secured all of the computers on a shelf for display purposes. They then took a bag from a shelf and placed the computers in it and hid the bag near an exit door. They then returned to the electronics area and attempted to take 3 Sony Xbox games. The Xbox games were secured to a shelf with alarms, so they took the entire shelf with the games still attached to it. Then they fled the store and left in the van. The 2 subjects and their vehicles are shown here. And also, Crime Stoppers, the University of Illinois Police Department are seeking assistance in identifying a possible suspect wanted for questioning in the theft of a purse and laptop computer. The items were stolen Sunday, March 24th from a vehicle parked in the parking garage of an apartment building located at 512 South 3rd Street in Champaign. At approximately 10:10 a.m. on Monday, March 25th, the purse was recovered from the lower level of a men's restroom in the Illini Union and was turned over to UIPD. Upon contacting the owner of the purse, UIPD officers learned that the victim had noticed her purse and laptop were missing from her car. after she had left her car unlocked for a short period of time while making several trips from the parking garage to her apartment on March 24th. While reviewing security video from the Illini Union, police located a possible suspect who entered the southwest quarter entrance of the Illini Union approximately at 9:55 a.m. March 25th. The possible suspect was observed to be carrying several bags. He was then seen leaving the same doors approximately 7 minutes later without the bags. As he was exiting the building, he appeared to have something stuffed into the left side of his coat. The person of interest is described as a 30 to 40-year-old black male with an athletic build, approximately 5 foot 10 inches by 6 foot 2 inches, with a slight goatee. He was wearing a green or blue stocking hat, a dark-covered Kevlar type hooded jacket, blue jeans, and tan work boots. A still photo of the unidentified subject taken from security cameras in the Illini Union is shown. If you know the identity of this person or have any information related to this case, contact UIPD at 217-333-1216 or Crime Stoppers via the options at www.373tips.com or text CC tip plus the information to CRIMES, CC tip to CRIMES, which is 274637. Also, in conjunction with the Champaign County Crime Stoppers Bulletin, a wanted subject is William R. Armand, and Armand is wanted on a warrant for FTA burglary, number 12CF001341, at a bond of $25,000. Amand is a white male, 22 years of age, approximately 6 foot 1 inches tall, and 210 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes, and you can see him there. If you have any information regarding the location of this wanted subject, call Crime Stoppers at area code 217-373-TIPS or 217-373-8477, or go to leave an anonymous web tip at www.373tips.com or text CC tip plus information to crimes or CRIMES or 274637. That's CC tip to 274637. I'm Michael Badger, and weather is next right here on Newsview.
At Julie, we wish you could see what our utility members see. But you can't. Even if it seems to be a small backyard project, why take chances? Simply call Julie. Or now, click on e-request at illinoisoncall.com.
And your weather for April 26th, 27th, and 28th of 2013. Friday night tonight, 42 degrees is the low under partly cloudy skies. Saturday tomorrow, is 66 degrees for the high and a low of 48 Saturday night. Sunday, 74 is the high temperature Sunday with sunny skies, mostly sunny skies. And a low Sunday night will get down to 51 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm Michael Badger, and that has been your Central Illinois news and weather. I'm Michael Badger. Have a good evening.